Good morning guys, and welcome to this edition of Hikelopedia. This morning I'm in Heping Island, or Peace Island, which is situated near the entrance to Keelung Harbour. And given this prime position, it's no wonder that this small island has been at the centre of many interesting historic episodes over the years, as various peoples have passed through or passed by. There's even a cool little coffee shop up on top of the hill called Radar Coffee, and if you go on top of the shop, the view is absolutely amazing. Cheers. A lovely brew. The earliest known residents of Heping Island were the Basai people, a plains indigenous group who were skilled fishermen, hunters and traders, and who are said to have arrived in eastern Taiwan from the Philippines archipelago around 2,000 years ago. They lived in isolated settlements along the coast, including here on the island, and used canoes to trade with hand sailors and other passing ships. The next people to leave a lasting impression here on Heping Island were the Spanish, who after their arrival in 1626 built a fort and a settlement known as San Salvador. Now, I've talked about how they ended up in Taiwan in an earlier video. And you can see the remains of one of the buildings, the Todos los Santos Church, here behind me. They also built a small round fort at the site of the present-day Shitou Fudegong. This was used to monitor traffic travelling in and out of the harbour through the small channel. All told, the Spanish were in northern Taiwan for 16 years, until they were eventually driven out in 1642 by the Dutch, as they expanded north from their colony located in the south. The Dutch stuck around until 1662, until they too were driven out by Ming loyalist Zheng Chenggong. Undeterred, the Dutch returned to the Keelung area after just 2 years, until they were finally booted out for good just 4 years later, in 1668. But not before they had left their mark on the island, literally. You see that small cave over there behind me? Well, several of the Dutch soldiers hid in there at some point during the hostilities, carving their name and the date on the walls inside. Unfortunately, the inscriptions have been eroded by the elements over time, but it does offer a fascinating insight into what transpired on this island at the time. Another influential group of foreigners to pass through Heping Island were the Ryukyu people from the present-day Okinawa Islands. There were around 500 or so settlers on the island at the height of the Japanese colonial period, and these skilled fishers helped the locals learn their famed spearfishing technique. Although this poor fella seems to have lost a leg, I'm not sure if it was bitten off by a shark or what. Can't believe I've never been here before. It's absolutely beautiful, and not too far away from Taipei, and it's kind of like a small Yelio, if you know what that place is. It's a very famous place on the north coast that's got lots of rock formations similar to this, but I mean obviously here is a lot nearer to Taipei and much easier to get to. So if you don't fancy the trek out to Yelio, then you could always come here for the same kind of experience. Wow, the coast is absolutely beautiful. It's kind of funny, when I just came here, I thought, oh my god, everybody's wearing a swimming hat, and I didn't bring mine. But I just asked the lifeguard, and actually you don't need to wear a swimming hat here, but still 99% of the people are wearing swimming hats. I guess they're just used to it by now, but I'm not going to wear one. Now looking at this, you might think it's cold, but I grew up in England. We went in the sea all the time, and it's much colder than this, so let's get in there. Not too bad. That was fun, and surprisingly not nearly as cold as it looks. It's actually quite warm. Okay, I think it's time to go back into town now and get something to eat. Now, Heping Island is pretty small, so there's not a huge selection of gourmet food available. So I'm just gonna have to make do with a bunch of 小吃 today. So let's go and check out some Heping Island 小吃. 葱肉包. Nice.
我们有菜单。
OK， 好，这个比较特别是那个
金台水饺，
水饺，
哎，
我吃那个
啊，10个，好，按里面做，
谢谢。
哎，我们来请慢用。我学的是爱玉，阿姨这样的鱼不炒，但是珊瑚炒，有人要来买珊瑚要便宜，所以它的有那个用那个会整个或者人大一点的嘛，人工木鸭有些，我们没有玩透就要够你玩好。
Not your ordinary 水饺. These have got a kind of sea grass or seaweed inside, and so they've got a slightly different taste to your normal 水饺. It tastes a bit fresher. Nice. The lady was showing me what they put in it earlier on.
海边拔的。
And also I filmed her making some. They're really good. That was so nice. Also, memories for me. That's the first time I've had 水饺 at a restaurant for ages, and it's actually one of the first ever meals I had when I came to Taiwan all those years ago. So, a bit of nostalgia and some lovely 水饺. Now, on one of the other hills of the island is this place. It's known as Shiliao East Fort. Now, I think this position was actually once used by both the Spanish and the Dutch, but the fort that you see now was, I think it's a combination of Qing era, and then it was renovated during the Japanese colonial period now. And it's got a nice view over the approach to the harbour, which obviously makes it an ideal place for a fort and some guns. just so in case you got some enemies invading, then it's pretty easy from here to fire at them. Now you may be wondering where the name Heping Island comes from. Well, it's actually quite a recent thing, as up until just after the Second World War, this place was known as Keelung Island. It was renamed Peace Island following the Keelung incident, which took place in March 1947, when nationalist troops killed several local residents during the period of unrest known in the history books as the 228 incident. The island was used by the military during the 50s and 60s and therefore off limit to the general public. It reopened to tourists and outside visitors in the 1970s. Nowadays, it's a place to come and enjoy some of the fabulous scenery and also eat some of the super fresh seafood. The other cool thing about this island is it's super small, so you can actually just walk around, although there are buses that can take you around too, to the visitor centre and the park. Okay guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little history lesson and tour around Heping Island or Peace Island. I certainly did. It was a really nice place to come for a day out. Yeah, so that's it. I'm heading back to Shinju now. A bit of a drive, but got to be done. So if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe and hit notifications if you'd like to catch my videos every Saturday morning. If you would like to help support the channel, then you can always click thanks down below or head on over to my Buy Me a Coffee webpage. The address is in the description and you can get a few things there: digital downloads, stickers, and the permanent offer of a free Hikelopedia embroidered patch to anybody who gets me 3 or more coffees. So go over there, check it out. Alright guys, that's it now. Take it easy. See you next week. Over now.